How you doing, guys? This is Joe from Kingdom DTF. Welcome one more time to the channel. If you're new to this channel, go ahead, subscribe, hit the like button, and follow us here for everything that is about DTF printing, direct to film printing. So if you guys see here on my back, I got a dual head printer. Instead of 24 inches, is the 12 inches, and this is going to be a video tutorial so you can have a better understanding what you're going to get, how you're going to install the printer to your computer, and also you're going to use the software. Now, these printers are basically similar to others, so maybe you're going to have a different version, but it's going to be similar, and it's going to be maybe using the same print heads as this one got, that is a dual head. Okay, so I'm going to open the printer and we're going to take a look inside the print heads, and then from that point we're going to start doing a step by step. Okay, something important for this printer is that you never put the inks before you can install to your computer, because if you cannot install the printer, then you're going to have inks on your printer, or maybe you already did something and you don't want inks to stay on the print head because they can dry. So it's recommended always, including the small printers, desktop, you install first the printers, you install any driver if there's any driver to install, and then you proceed to put the inks and all of that stuff. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is go to change the language of the printer. Okay, so we're going to turn on here. Okay, so let's say that your machine comes with the emergency stop on. So we're going to turn on. Okay, you're going to see that nothing's happening. Now, once I switch these to position and I take the printer from the emergency stop, it's going to turn on. You're going to see the panel. Okay, you see your panel, it's turned on, then your wiper is going down and your print head is going to start moving. So basically what it's doing is just like any printers do at the first time when you turn it on, that is doing the initial settings. Okay, now it was a little bit loud at the first time, but then you go to hear that is the board over here is the fan that is a little bit loud here. Okay, so now because we don't know Chinese, so what we want to come here to the panel and it's change the language. So I don't think you're seeing this right now on this screen right here because it's too bright. So what I got to do, I'm going to have another video like on top of this one also as a layer, so it's going to show you this. But basically what you do the first time is click enter. Then when you start seeing here what it's saying that you don't going to understand if you don't know Chinese, it's just use the button that says down. It's got to be maybe around 5 times. So it's got to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you go to hit enter, and you're going to see that it's going to set here language, Chinese and English. So down to select English and enter. Okay, so once you do that, your panel is going to completely change to English, and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, emergency stop button in case you need it. Then your printer is just running right now. Okay, you got your driver belt over here, you got your encoder and a strip here, you got all the lines for the dampers. Over here you got your platen, you got your wiper already, and this part over here you can take off. Let me see if I can do it. Just be careful, just like that. And you're going to see your capping station that go up and down by itself automatic. And here with this over here on the right corner right there, that you can use it to move this piece up and down. Okay, you got here your white ink circulation pump that's going to be coming through here and go back to the back of the tank. And also the tank is going to have a steering. It's going to be steering the white ink. Okay, so we're going to remove this part over here. As you can see already here, there's 3 screws that I took off already. Okay, and what we want to do is just move the printer to the left side. So the nice about this printer is that you don't need to turn off and on to do that, because your panel here got left and right. So if, for example, I go to move the head to the left side, okay, because I want to do maintenance on the capping station, you can do that too. Something important, I'm going to do a parenthesis here that is going to be really important, guys, is that you going to connect the printer first to your computer. What I mean by that is that after you change the language here, you're going to go to your computer and connect your printer. These printers, the professional printers and dual head, use this type of connection. Use the internet. Okay, your computer need to have one of these, so you'll be able to use these printers. At least these versions of the small scale dual heads, they don't use a USB cable, they use the internet cable. Okay, you're going to have that. So after you change the language, go ahead and connect your printer, set up your printer, using the guide and the manual, or just watching the videos that I'm going to do also. Okay, so I'm going to close that parenthesis over there because it's really important so you can understand. Like I mentioned before, it's good idea to see if your printer connects to your computer using the card network, and that way also you can set up for the 912. So we have been working with Cadlink to create the drivers for the 912, and it was possible thanks to them. So that's why we're using this RIP software now, because it's going to be more easy for anyone using this type of printer that the dual head, instead of using a software like the main top 6 or maybe the print shop or something like that they have, because those software over there you need to create and a spot color separate using the Photoshop. So basically you need to take your picture and create a spot color that have the white, then save it again as a TIFF, so you can open on those software, because those software are for printing but not a RIP software. So the advantages of using the Cadlink Digital Factory 10 with the 912 is that you got a software to print, but also at the same time you got a RIP software, and also you got different features. So the first thing that you want to do is obviously you're going to install your Cadlink software. So you're going to get your activation code with your purchase. Also, you want to have the Atool on your desktop. That is the interface that connect your
computer with the dual head printer, and we need to set up some IP address to be able to connect to the Cadlink the correct way. So this one over here, as you see, is the Atool, is an interface that is going to connect to your printer and between your printer and your computer. So right now, as you see, it's going to set connect fail. That is because I'm not connected to the printer. This printer are connected with through a cable that is the Ethernet cable that use the network cards and is not a USB cable. Okay, just to clarify that. Also, you're going to see here that it got an IP address. So this IP address is local for the A tool, and it's got to be the bridge between the printer and the PC so you can connect and use the camera. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on connect so you can see what's going on and you be aware of what's happening with the printer. And if you can see, it's going to says connect, okay, and it's going to become available all these over here that you can basically change and save. So this is the setup that you do for your printer in the first place. This is the way that you go to do your calibration for the print heads of the printer because it's used two print heads. So you need to calibrate these to be able to print the color and then print the white underbase, but at the same time be on the same spot and don't be, a little bit side to the right or side to the left. Okay, I hope you can understand me. So this is the tool for doing that. So what we're going to do is basically take this IP address that is the local for the A tool interface, and we're going to open our control panel in the PC computer. So just to make another parenthesis here, the RIP software only works on Windows computers. If you are a Mac user, unfortunately, I don't know any RIP software out there to manage printers. So what you can do if you want to manage your designs and RIP software through a Mac computer, you can check a software called, I think the name is Parallel, that is allow you to have a virtual Windows on your computer, and that way maybe I'm not 100% sure about this because I have never I'm not a Mac user, but I've seen many people using this type of programs to run a window, virtual window on their Mac and be able to use the Cadlink and be able to use the Accurate. Now, if you're going to be able to do the Cadlink and also at the same time the night 12, to be honest, I'm not sure about that. That's something that we need to take a look and see if it's work. But the other ones, people have been saying that a few people have been okay with running the virtual window, and for that reason, they have been able to run this type of software. Okay, so I'm going to close this. That now, once you are in the control panel, what you want to do is go to Network and Sharing Center. Then you're going to change adapter settings, and you're going to see your internet connectivity. Okay, so in this case, I'm using this one over here, but some people got internet too, and this one is not going to be available, but they're going to be available to use this one. So this means that right now the printer is connected to my computer. Okay, so what you want to do is right click, go to properties, and you go to choose Internet Protocol version 4, double click, and there you go to say that you want to use the following IP address. That is going to be the same IP address that you saw of this A-Tool software interface. So the local IP address is 196.12.01 88. So the same that is telling you here, you're going to put it here in the first blank. Okay. After that, you go to click the second blank here, the net mask, and that's going to populate by themselves. After that, you don't have to do anything else. Just click OK. Then again OK, and it's got to be set off your computer to use the IP address. Okay. After that, you can close everything. And this one, just keep it open. Always that you're going to print, you need to have your Atool interface open between your computer and the printer, because you need to connect to your printer first. If you don't connect to your printer, then what is going to happen is that when you send any job to print with the Cadlink is going to say that there's something wrong, or you're going to see that it's printing, but instead of printing something, it's going to stay there doing nothing because the software is not connect, it's not sending any job to your printer. Okay, so once you do that and you open your Cadlink, after you install that, in the queue you can manage the printers. So what you're going to do is just click the plus, add a queue, add a driver, a device, click next. From the list over here, if you don't see the 912, you're going to choose install printer, and there's going to be a long list over here that you're going to be able to choose. So this same step that I'm doing right now is the same step everyone's do when they're going to choose the printer that they want to use. For example, if you want the L1800, you're going to search here on the list and you're going to find it. In this case, I don't see it here because I already installed it. So it's going to be, let me see, it's going to be right here. So I already installed that driver. And I installed all this bunch of printers to test. Also, 912 is there. So that's why it's not going to be in the other list. But when it's your first time, you're going to be able to install printers and find it here. So basically, you can type or you can search it from the list. Once you do that, you take, let's do one sample. Let's say that you want to install the P800. So you click OK. So in this case, let's assimilate that it's going to be the 912. You click the driver, click next, and if you're going to see, it's going to be installing for you. Okay. After that, you go to click next and you go to leave the port as it is. It's going to say successful. You're going to click finish, and then it's going to be right here in your queue. So it's going to be the same step that is going to happen for the 912. It's going to be on your queue. Okay. Now you will need to set up the port, and the port to set up is really easy. You just click here and you're going to say that you want to set up an IP address port that is basically the one that you set up right over your internet port. That is going to be the network card, and also it's going to be the same number that is showing this one. So it's 196 12, what is it, 120188. You're going to put that IP address there. You want to put as a port 9100. Click OK, and it's going to be there. After that, you don't need to do anything else. Your printer is going to be using that IP address to send the job to the printer, and it should be everything's working fine and all of that. Okay, I just got to delete this because this was just a sample, but that's the way you do it. So you have been set up your printer, your 912, to be used with the Cadlink. You set up the port on your computer, and also you connect your printer using the Atool interface. Okay. After this, you basically need to do your calibrations for the print heads and you're going to do, I think there's 4 or 5 that you need to do. So one of them is right here. Once you click more, it's going to be the vertical test that you click this one to start your calibration. So you're going to see the next steps, what I'm going to do with the calibrations. It's going to be this one. Then you do your height alignments. Then you're going to do the same for the dual heads, for the 2 heads at the same time. So first you do it vertical for one head and the height alignment, and then you're going to do it for the calibration of the 2 heads at the same time. That is going to be vertical alignment and also horizontal alignment. That is these two over here. Then there's a fifth alignment that you're going to use in case you see that it's not aligning, so well. So you're going to use this one over here, the step alignment. This is a small step instead of big steps like the alignments that do the vertical and horizontal. The small step is just to move a little bit, point by point. Like here, you got a sample, and that is going to be helping you to get closer to the calibration of the print heads. Okay. If after you do the calibration of the print heads, if something happen, what you're going to do is you need to unscrew the 4 screws that holding the heads, and you will need to move the print heads manually a little bit to the right side or a little bit to the left side, depending which one need to be adjusted to complete that calibration. And after you do that, you will need to come here again to the Atool and run again the calibration to see if while you move a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left side is enough, and you're going to have a good calibration. It's very important that you calibrate your print heads to be able to have a solid and consistent designs with the colors and also the white underbase. If you don't do this, what is going to happen is that the one of them is going to be printing a little bit off, and then let's say that you put in the white underbase, you're going to see that the white underbase is going to be showing just a little bit to the right or just a little bit to the left side. So that's why it's important to do the calibration. Okay. Um, Also doing using this tool over here for the calibration, you got on your right side, you got your print setup. You got, if you want to do bidirectional or you want to do one way. Right now I got mine set as a bidirectional, so that way it prints a little bit faster. The size got to be high. I use a speed 1 that is the standard speed for the printer. If you want to go a little bit faster, you can use a speed 2, but note that you may get banding, because you know that the printers, when they're going to be printing as fast as possible, certain issues can happen and you can get banding when the print head is try to print at the max speed. Okay, so I prefer you to stay on speed 1, that is the standard, have the standard resolution that is going to be also good, so you can get your design print the correct way. I mean, we're talking about that on a video that I made for promotion. I put 3 designs. 2 of them was 11 by 11, and one of them was about 10 by 10. And those 4 designs print on under 4 minutes or around 4 minutes. So we're talking about that it's got to be fast. So when you're printing maybe an A3 size design, maybe you're going to be printing in just 2 minutes that design, or let's say maximum two and a half. But it's not going to be more than that. Okay, so this printer is going to print for you fast because it's using two heads. So that's why it's a dual head. So It's just like the same printers, the big ones, the 24 inches. The only thing that this one is just more compact. It's going to be more smaller that you can put on a table, maybe 4 feet or in a space that you got, 24 inches. You can put it there, and it's not going to take too much space from you, especially if you are on your office or if you live on an apartment or you have a small space that you work and do everything. This printer is not going to take too much of the space on top of the on the table. Okay. Now, if you want to add to this the mini shaker, then we're talking about maybe adding a little bit more of a space needed to have the mini shaker running. But it's up to you. I mean, the idea of this printer is to print a little bit faster than the regular desktop printers, and also use a mini shaker to accelerate your production per day, doing the transfers or doing the transfers so you can press it on the shirt. But if you don't want to use a mini shaker, you don't have to do it. You can do the just print the transfers and cure the transfers the way you want. If you want to use a conveyor, if you want to use a heat gun, if you want to use the heat press. But using the mini shaker is going to be 100% easier to accelerate the process, how you print and how you cure and finish your transfers. Okay.